strengthening our sovereignty, that's a huge issue. When you have political agendas trying to and attempting to chip away our sovereignty, we have to ask ourselves, how are we at protecting ourselves in our future? Are we able to govern ourselves?
I have seen in my professional life as an attorney the damage that federal policies, some were well-intended, some were not well-intended, but nevertheless the damage that has been done on Indian nations, on tribal sovereignty. We have not only have laws operated to dismantle Native nations, but it has also dismantled somewhat our own ability to be proud of who we are in our minds.
Our societies should be allowed to evolve. Most often people look at us and they want to freeze us in time. They want to freeze us in a time that is convenient to them and that is comfortable to them. We're not the people that are pushing back and saying, no, we're not going to allow that anymore. They prefer that we're the pictures on the wall, or we're the people you call in to drum, or you call in to say the opening prayer and say, okay, see you later kind of thing. That's not good enough anymore.
Looking at the past and looking at history, our people went through so much, and they went through so much change, and change that they didn't want. They've been put through so much, boarding schools, being assimilated, save the man and kill the Indian. All of this change happened without our acceptance, our okay. I think now that we've been through all that hardship, all that hard change, that it's time for us to rebuild ourselves in this era of self-determination.
Native Governance Center is a Native American-led nonprofit that supports tribal nations in strengthening their systems of governance and capacity to exercise sovereignty by offering customized tribal assistance, tribal resource grants, and educational sessions.
Sovereignty and self-governance is so important. We have to recognize that tribal nations are just like nations all around the world. Out of that comes the nation-building theme, the rebuilding of those capacities that have been denied Indian people for so long to run their own affairs, but doing it in a way that met that tribe's own cultural definitions of what legitimate authority meant. Those are the places that really started to take off.
Part of Native rebuilding, Native nation rebuilding, is rebuilding ourselves individually and then taking that collective and rebuilding that strength, that sovereignty that we've always had. We've always had power. We have the ability to lead ourselves. We just needed to be reminded of that. And I think that's what a lot of Native nation rebuilding work, that Native Governance Center in particular, does.
The Native Nation Rebuilders Program is a 2-year, cohort-based leadership experience that equips participants with governance knowledge and organizing skills. The educational and transformative sessions empower them to carry out nation-building projects to positively impact their communities.
I ran for tribal council. I made it into tribal council, and the first week I was checking my emails, and I happened to get an email talking about the Native Governance Center and a session that was in Fargo, North Dakota. I decided to stop in. My intent was only for a day, and I think we were there for a day and a half, and it changed my life, changed my political life for sure, and my whole outlook on life moving forward.
For me, it did start with the Native Governance Center and the Native Nation Rebuilders Program. I was 30, just now learning about treaty law and tribal governance, and had no clue about what the things that really mattered, how we could go forward with sovereignty, what it really meant to, look 7 generations ahead. And so I found myself after the Rebuilders cohort racing to do all of those things, spending time with elders, learning the language, trying to build these community projects that I felt would then benefit youth earlier. Youth programs that do foster expression, whether that be through the arts, through cultural arts.
The 5 principles of Native nation building are sovereignty, capable governing institutions, strategic orientation, spirited leadership, and cultural match.
So when I was campaigning, now that I look back on it after a few of the teachings through our Native Rebuilder sessions, my campaign was all standard approach. I fell into the script that everybody falls into. A lot of it was vote for change, for the youth and for the elders. I had no real plans into implementing that, but in my head, I was going to do all these great things. I quickly realized that, I almost fell into that trap as a newly elected leader. To me, the good old boys system always was now you're in, you have the power to do whatever you think you should be doing in the community. That's the funny part. I mean, my approach was to break up the good old boys system by using the good old boys system, but better than everybody else. And that would have been detrimental to myself and to our community.
Native youth are the future. In 2018, Native Governance Center launched Youth Rebuilders, a multi-day, governance-focused leadership program for Native youth.
When you get back to the foundation of a plan, this is just another foundation piece. My little piece of that foundation, I want it to stay there. It's going to be stuck there. Nobody can pull that away. So for me, the way that I keep my foundation piece in is to go through the youth councils and the youth rebuilders. So they'll always be there to repatch that foundation for me if I'm not there.
It's everything I could hope for as a Native youth that I'm blessed with the opportunity to have. It's an opportunity for not only youth, but just for Native Americans all over the U.S. We can be bigger than we ever have been before.
When I chose to work for state government, I believed in the young people coming behind me. I had to believe that, because I shouldn't be out selling or talking about nation building if I don't believe in that sustainability, if I don't believe in my own people. When I look at the long term for the next generations, is that they have hope, they believe in each other, they believe in themselves. So when we look back and we're old men sitting there with our grandchildren, we can say, I believed in you. You weren't here yet, but I believed in you, and I love you.
Supporting tribes, empowering leaders.